If you get the guitar ready. Welcome to the Liz and Skatz channel.
I missed.
Let's try that again, shall we? La 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 la.
Hey!
Perfect.
Don't know what I'm then. I haven't had any wine, I promise you, darling. Good grief.
Well, good grief.
What a
indeed.
way to start.
So, give us a wave in the chat box next to the screen over there. I think it is, or it might be this side. I don't know.
Yeah.
And just to show us that you're here.
Yeah.
And if you're watching back later on, then leave us a comment in the comments below.
We love hearing from you, we really do. It's great.
So today we are talking mainly about one subject, and that is fasting. Mainly because we've just finished a 72-hour fast.
Yeah.
So we're very mellow tonight, as you can probably tell.
Can't even ting.
We can't even ting. And we've been intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting for about 5 months at least.
6 months now.
I was accidentally intermittent fasting for about 3 or 4 months before that, because I'm a musician and I was getting up late, as we always do. And I wasn't eating till about 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I was only having one other meal in the day, and that was about 6 o'clock at night. So that was a 7-hour eating window and a 17-hour fast. I can count to 24. I can, and take away from 24 as well. So yes, so we regularly get questions and comments, don't we?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
Lots about fasting.
Especially on the Facebook page, I do. Anyway, lots of people question.
Yeah, and some of those questions and comments, well, they need answers, because some of them are things like, fasting's weird, isn't it? It's just a weird thing to do. Not eating, that's weird.
I suppose it is, really.
Very, very weird.
It's not normal. It's not the norm.
No,
So.
it isn't these days. And some people say, no, there's no way I can do that. I'd be so tired, I'd be hungry. Can't do that. Why would anybody want to do that?
I've heard that a lot.
Or I can't survive without my food, or without my, without my snack in the morning, or without something like that.
Yeah.
And I've even heard somebody say, no, fasting is for monks and really strange religious people, isn't it?
Why are religious people strange?
Well, no, more kind of extreme kind of religious thing to do. I mean, it's that's the way it's portrayed in films, isn't it? Or on TV sometimes. It's somebody who goes up a mountain and says, I haven't spoken for 40 years.
No, there is that.
Things like that. That's the life of Brian, isn't it? What does he say?
Yeah,
I was blind, but now I can see.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I went to India a couple of years ago, and fasting is like every other week they do some sort of fast.
So is that Hindu?
Mostly where I was, it's mostly Hindus, and there's Sikhs as well where I was. But they did actually have a mosque as well, close to where we were. So there was quite a few different religions in that, and it's just like. I think in the Western world it's a weird thing, but when you go sort of the further east you go, it just is. It's the norm, really.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Do it all the time.
So we're going to start busting those myths and answer the questions and help you to find out why fasting is so absolutely fantastic for your health and your well-being. So, by the way, if you like what you hear on this video, then do click that like button and subscribe and click on the bell. Ding! And that'll help you to help us to help you, and things like that.
We really are very mellow this evening.
We are, yes. So you'll get all the best information. It's subscribing and clicking on the bell, especially. Sorry, but I think I'll just take the sound off that thing. Yes, that's better. And
thank you to whomever just subscribed. That was what that message was.
Was it?
Yep.
Fabulous. I should keep those going. They'll still keep coming up anyway.
Yeah.
We just won't hear the ping anymore. And yes, that'll help us get more information to you. The clicking on the bell make sure you get notifications. So
Yeah.
that'll tell you whenever we've got a live stream coming or there's a new video coming out, and then you'll be able to catch up with us all the time and join us all the time, and keep on watching the videos. So
yeah,
we will get straight on. This is not a script really, this is just a set of notes, but it's a huge set of paper today.
I know. It is a script today. It looks
It
like
is. It does look like a script,
sent
doesn't
a
it?
new script from
It's just in very, very big letters. So, oh yes, we'll also be updating you today on what videos we've got coming up soon. There's some really exciting videos.
Yeah.
And telling you about what amazing gifts you can get on our merchandise channel. And we might even put some of those t-shirt things into a little song at the end. We're going to make up a song.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, bit scary.
I know nothing about what's going to happen, you know. Skatz just organises it and I just come in with a cup of tea and sit down.
This is it, yes. I'm better working to notes, but Liz is just fantastic at telling you that all of this information is inside here. It's wonderful.
It's coming out rather slowly today, though.
Yeah.
Floating on all the gabber that we've had, so yeah.
Well, I've deliberately made this just about one topic so that we can keep it nice and short today, because every other week I've said this is going to be in half an hour, and we've gone to about 50 minutes. So we'll keep it nice and tight. And also I'm recording this time properly, which I forgot to do last time, so that I can edit it down and make it even shorter for people who are watching afterwards. So I'll put that together tomorrow for you. And
anyone who's missed it,
yeah,
we missed you, but we're happy to see you now.
And you can still watch. You can still watch the whole live one, so you can get all the ums and the ahs and the
bits
silly
where I
stuff.
miss me ting.
Yeah, and the missing ting, ting and ting.
Missing ting and ting.
So yeah, and so we'll answer any questions you have. Put the questions in the live chat, or if you're listening afterwards, in the comments below, and.
Or anything that you want us to talk about in any other live stream as well.
Of course, yes. And the song at the end, because we're making it up, why not put a line in the live chat at the side of the screen that way? Join in. And yeah. Put a line in there that you want us to put in the song. Nothing rude, okay? It's got to be nice. Be good boys and girls, won't you? So, here we go then. Fasting. Number 1. What was it? Fasting. It's weird, isn't it? Fasting's really weird. Why do you want to do that? Fasting's weird. Don't do that. Well, I think it only seems that way because we're used to eating the way we do in our Western culture. So this modern day diet's very recent, isn't it? The sort of stuff we eat now. And especially in the last 40 or 50 years with all of the
I see what you mean.
processed foods.
Sorry, yeah. It's kind of since the war. We had a sudden boom in the 50s and the 60s, and suddenly people started putting on weight and getting heart attacks and more often strokes and things like that. And they came up with this idea that fat is bad. And it was mainly, if you actually look back in history, you'll find out that it was the cane sugar companies who were putting money into the governments to say that fat is bad, because when you take the fat out of food, then they put sugar in, and this is where we had our problems. Yeah,
and that's been going on for a lot longer, because with the slave trade and getting the sugar over from places like the Caribbean, it was encouraged for people as people got more wealthy. And I think you've never had it so good in the 50s that you had in America, and that was similar in the UK, but not quite as wealthy. And so it's been about sugar
for a long time.
And of course, as people have had more disposable income, it's
and food's become way cheaper compared to how it used to be. Plus also people used to grow their own food and keep their own food. And my mother, who is was born in 1938, so not that long ago really, she actually recalls keeping rabbits and chickens and growing her own food. And she lived in a city, and they had just like a little backyard out the back, and there was an outside toilet, and there were the chickens and there were the rabbits, and then they'd got a few pots with some cabbages in and stuff like that, or they'd have an allotment, and that's what you used to do. You used to grow your own food, and we don't do that.
Very few people do that now.
Very often
Not in the cities, and of course there's more people in the cities now.
Yeah.
And that started happening in the Industrial Revolution. That was the 1800s in the UK, certainly.
Yeah, and if you look at foods that are cheap, it's the highly processed, ones with high fructose corn syrup and trans fats and
factory farmed meat,
dried fruit and factory farmed meat, industrialised meat is all very, very cheap. Now you go out and do the meat that we buy, meat that's grass fed and locally grown, to reduce the impact on the environment, because that's very important to me. And eventually I intend to sort of creep back into vegetarianism, or at least reduce my meat content quite vastly. But that does actually make a huge difference. The food that you buy now is so much cheaper to buy rubbish food.
And it's driven by our stressful lives that we live. Not that we're living a stressful life at the moment, really, because we're
when is it going to end? Not our lives.
Yeah.
When's it going to end?
No,
but when's lockdown going to finish? When can we go back to work? When can we do this and when can we do that? We've got plans.
And some of you are working in very stressful situations now. If you're on the front line of nursing, doctoring. So,
we love you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so
and my
much.
son is now
Keeping
one
us
of
alive.
them. Our son is now
studying
one of
nursing. Fabulous.
So he's going to be on placement next year, beginning of next year. So.
So yes, and the sort of foods that we eat, these cheap foods, these processed foods, they're high carbs, they're high sugar, so they're addictive, and they give you an instant appetite very quickly afterwards. We do have a video all about that. I think it's the Sugar is Bad video, which you can find on our playlist. We might put a link to that at the very end, or we might put it up there on the playback video.
Doesn't only rot your teeth.
Yeah. And we're told by some people that fasting puts your body into starvation mode. That's why they think it's weird, but actually it doesn't.
No.
That's the answer to that one. It doesn't.
No, well, there is one proviso, and that is that you have more than 5% body fat if you want to do any fasting. Any less than 5% body fat, you should not be fasting. But if you do have more than 5% body fat, my body fat roughly is around about 30%, 34% at the moment. Women have more body fat than men. And so, yours is about 20%. You're about 20%.
I'm over 20% now. Yeah.
So
still, even at this, let me show you where I'm at. I've lost 70. Hang on, no, it's more than that. Nearly 73 pounds, and I'm actually below my target weight because I've been fasting for 3 days, and now size 32 waist trousers is just like there's hardly anything.
Waist.
30 waist. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
30 waist.
And I've lost 40 pounds, and everybody has said to me, you weren't even big to start off with, but I knew under the clothes, yes I was, and so it's good. Fasting is not starving yourself unless you're under 5% fat.
Yeah. And let us also tell you, fasting is tried and tested not only in places like India, but there are people, sports people who fast. There are doctors who fast.
Celebrities are now doing intermittent fasting. It's not that you should really follow what they do, but it's becoming like a part of the norm. There's a lot of, I've seen magazine articles now with intermittent fasting, and a lot of them are doing keto now as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people are starting to do keto. So
because they fit together so well. You end up in ketosis either way, really, especially on extended fasts.
Yeah.
So that's that. Number 2, what did we say? There's no way I could do that. I'd be so tired and so hungry. Well,
we've worked up to it.
Firstly, yes, you wouldn't normally leap into, especially a prolonged fast.
No.
We have a friend who might be watching. Hello, Neil, if you're watching, who's started fasting, and he went straight on to 1 meal a day, and had something very small on the second day, and then just carried on. And so I've said to him, let's actually go into intermittent fasting. So you have 1 meal a day one day, and then 2 meals a day the next, with a kind of an eating window of 6 to 7 hours. And but he was having a really good time on it, and enjoying it.
Yeah.
So good, keep it up, Neil.
But the thing is what you need to do is the first thing you need to do is shorten your window, shorten your eating window. So for the first week, make sure that you time when you start your breakfast and when you finish your last bite of food at night, whenever that may be. Figure out how many hours that is, and then shorten it by an hour each week, and just stay there for a little while. Stay there for a week, and then shorten it by another hour each week, and then eventually you'll come to 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours eating window. And that's your intermittent fasting. It doesn't take long, really. It doesn't.
And you get used to it. You get used to where the hunger might come. Cause you get hungry in the morning because we tend to eat it. We take the dog for a walk and then we're not back till 1 or 2 o'clock. So then we
tend to eat until
then. And then our eating window is sometimes only 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
So that's a 20-hour fast.
Yeah.
And that means you've gone into autophagy for about 3 hours. Which we'll come on to in a minute.
If you're doing keto, of course, you only go into autophagy early if you're doing keto.
Yes.
Because you need to be in ketosis, and then you might go into autophagy at around about 17, 18 hours. If not, then it's going to take you 19 or 20 hours to get into autophagy.
So yes, and. So you'll be eating a lot less carbs. It's a lot easier to control your appetite if you're eating, especially less than 20 grams of carb a day, which is what puts you into ketosis. Yeah, we sometimes eat very little carbs.
I'm surprised if I can't remember the last time. I don't think we eat that many carbs really.
No. When we having,
I'd be surprised if we got up to 20 grams a day.
Yeah, because we do eat quite a lot of green vegetables when we have a main meal in the evening, or a lot of salad, huge pile of salad.
But that's the only carbs that we have now, really. And there's a few bits and bobs, like there's a bit in cheese, tiny bit in cheese.
Yeah, there's even a bit in meat, but it's just fibrous.
There are some in nuts as well.
But when I eat
a lot of nuts.
When you eat something like broccoli, there's not very much in that so the net carbs is just so low.
Yeah.
So you really can fill up on that.
What do we mean by net carbs?
Net carbs is the amount of grams of carbs minus the
carbs that are fibre.
The carbs that are fibre.
What's left over is your net carbs, and that's what you need to be counting.
And that's basically the sugar content, really, the glucose content.
Yeah, we don't count fibre. So, and of course we need fibre for a healthy digestive system, so that's why we eat lots of veggies.
Yes. So the part of that question was about the hunger.
Yeah.
So your appetite's reduced. Also, you'll get hungry, whatever kind of diet you're on.
I got really hungry this fast. I don't know what happened.
But it's not all the time, is it? It comes in waves.
I think today was bad because I knew we'd be breaking today.
Yeah.
And
psychological.
And we didn't go out for a walk because it was heaving it down with rain today all day and windy as hell. So we just didn't want to go out. And besides, the pup wouldn't have got out of the car, I don't think, if we got out today. She would just go, no, I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, she looks at us in a very weird way if we go out in that kind of weather. She doesn't like it.
Now, what's the matter with you?
She's spoiled. She stays indoors.
But anyway, so we didn't go out for a walk. So I think all those sort of psychological things that I was just left to my own devices today, and I should have kept myself a bit more busy. Should have taken my own advice.
Yes. But, and the other thing that stops you being tired is the hormones. You get a lovely calming hormone, but you get the endorphins.
Yeah, I mean the endorphins really only last for about the first 36 hours, and then by that time your GABA's kicked in, which is a very kind of suppressing neurotransmitter, which actually stops you from worrying. It helps you to get a good night's sleep. I have slept. Oh my God, the last 2 nights I've slept so well. I've dreamt well as well. Woo! I've had some really, really vibrant dreams.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. It's the endorphins only last for a while. But if you actually go out and exercise, the endorphins kick in faster. So you actually can go much longer on an exercise or a walk, and far longer than you'd think you'd be able to go when you're fasting.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, we still did. We only did a short walk yesterday, but it was still 4.5 kilometres. Which is pretty good.
And that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
I've heard fasting experts say you should be relaxing and contemplating and meditating. Don't do too much exercise. Even the people who normally lift weights and exercise and go on keto and fasting, they say just reduce what you do down to a bare minimum, and that's very good advice, I think. And so we just go on. We walk slower.
I laughed at Tom DeLauer. Oh, he's one of our favourite guys. Shout out to Tom DeLauer, he's great on YouTube. And he said, I only do 30 minutes of I was like, oh my God. I mean, that guy is ripped.
He is ripped.
Woo!
Is that the word? Buff.
He's more than buff, he's ripped. My God. But yeah, so he kind of takes his weightlifting and his mad high intensity interval training down to 30 minutes a day. I couldn't even do 30 minutes of high intensity training, you know.
But he's the kind of guy, even though when he was big and he'd lost a lot of weight,
200 pounds,
and he was a bouncer, nightclub doorman bouncer, and so he was all right. But when he lost the weight and stayed and got even more toned, you know, he's now got the full. He's got the guns.
Yeah.
So yeah. So some people say I can't survive without food. How can I survive without the food?
Well,
and the snacks.
To be honest with you, it's not really that long in our human evolution that we wouldn't have had food some days.
Yeah.
I'm not talking within the last 200 years, but certainly very recently in our evolution, we wouldn't have been able to eat every day. Because we wouldn't have been able to catch the food or harvest the food or anything like that. So
we'd have had a big meal in the evening. That would have been it.
And that was if you caught something that you could eat, and sometimes you didn't. In fact, there are still tribes out there who still sometimes go without food, and they don't eat any carbohydrates at all because they've got no maize or no corn or no wheat or no barley to grow, and they just eat animals and fruit and berries and stuff. So that's all they still eat, and they still survive. So all you have to do is kind of take a bit of a history lesson, and our food has accelerated in its advancement, in its evolution far quicker than we have as human beings. So the food that we have now is, some of it is, I mean, that you watch Dr. Sten Ekberg, for example, and he says you walk into a supermarket, the only thing that's real food is the first aisle, and that's it. The rest of it is junk.
There's a bit of cream on the final aisle.
Maybe,
That's why we go all the way over there. And butter.
And that's it. Yeah. There's no other real food. The rest of it is just processed rubbish. And I'm starting to see that now.
Yeah.
And we read labels. We're a bit become a bit kind of obsessed with reading labels. I used to really love Marmite. I know it's either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
he hates it. I love it. But I looked at it today thinking, because I hadn't made any bone broth to break the fast with, and I looked at the label today, and out of 100 grams of, I mean, this is yeast extract we're talking about here. Out of 100 grams, 18 grams are carbohydrates.
Wow.
18 grams. That's 18% of Marmite is carbohydrate.
Although I suppose you wouldn't have very much, would you? If you're spreading it thin.
Well, no, I never used to spread it.
Then 100 grams. You wouldn't spread 100 grams on a piece of toast.
No, I probably wouldn't spread 100 grams.
That would be one bottle full.
It would have been at least 20 for me.
Would it?
Oh my God, yeah, I loved it. Especially I used to do Marmite on toast with
hummus. So that's a fifth
on the top.
of that. What is that? That's 3 and a bit grams.
Yeah, just with that, and then the hummus on the top and the bread.
Oh, and hummus is quite high in carbs.
Hummus is stacked with it, unfortunately. Yeah, I miss
it. Yeah, the idea of not being able to survive without your food is about two things. It's about the fact that you're used to eating that way, and you'll get hungry if you don't have your food because your body thinks you've got to eat.
Psychology again. It's the psychology of it all.
And you're also used to the sugar crash.
Yeah.
So it seems like you'd be like that all the time. That's how you're imagining it's going to be, but it's not like that, because you're not having that volume of sugar anymore. And if you cut out all of those carbs and most of the carbs and all of the sugars, which is a good idea.
Of course, if you're
much easier.
If you're doing keto, of course, then it makes fasting one hell of a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because you're already come out of that carb addiction. Well, hopefully, if you've been doing it for long enough, and you're not going to crave those things anymore. I mean, there's still every now and again I could really do with a bit of toast, or I'd really love to have a banana. But other than that, I don't really feel that anymore. So of course, fasting now for us is much, much easier. And I find not eating until 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, very simple.
Yeah.
Because the fat just sustains you for longer, and your energy levels stay the same. And before, I'd have an energy dip because I'd missed your body physically misses the carbs. So I'd have an energy dip, and then I have to come back up again with eating some carbohydrates. But now that because you're burning fat, it's like a lovely low, slow burn. It's great.
And I use that time in the afternoon to edit videos. So
and normally we've been nodding off.
Normally, yeah, a number of times I used to fall asleep in this chair because I just couldn't keep my eyes open with that lack of sugar. Yeah. But now I'm buzzing all the way, and sometimes I don't even get back in to have my dinner. So So there we go. Yeah. So what was the fourth thing? Oh yeah, fasting is for monks and strange religious people.
Controversial.
We might get some complaints about that, but no, I don't mean,
It's what people have said to
strange
us.
In a good way. I think eccentric religious
it's
people.
It's what people have actually said to us. It's nothing to do with us whatsoever.
And it's how they're portrayed in films as being. Yeah. It's very weird to go out in the desert and not have anything to eat for 40 days and 40 nights, and and even I mentioned The Life of Brian before. It's kind of ridiculed on there, and but lots of different cultures use fasting for religious ceremonies, for religious purposes, for spiritual practices, and there's a reason for that, and that's because when you're fasting, you're cleaning out your body of the toxins. You're cleaning out with autophagy. And also you're cleaning out your mind as well. You're repairing things inside your body, and that goes along with the sort of spiritual teachings, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had Ramadan, Yom Kippur. There's so many fasting festivals and things in Hinduism and in Islam as well. Ramadan is Islam, but there's all sorts of different wonderful traditions of fasting, and the reason is because the fasting, the cleaning, you become closer to God or closer to your spirituality, or just, I mean, even in kind of yoga practices, people will actually fast for certain periods of time. People I know who do it quite regularly, and now me as well. And it's I keep saying this, but if you'd have told me that I'd have fasted for 3 or 4 days back in March, I would have laughed my head off. I just would not have believed it possible.
And now we've got that calm feeling and the endorphins as well, that you can see why religious people do it. Yeah. It gives you the feeling of being up in the ether with the gods, So. Yeah.
And of course, you're also helping to feed your brain, which brings you supposedly closer to your inner self and your inner you, which some people describe as their God. So it's a very spiritual thing to do as well, I think.
And it's just so good for your health. So it may be, I have a theory that religious leaders and tribal leaders were actually they noticed from their whatever kind of medicine they had that people got better if they weren't eating. Even Hippocrates said something like it's that you shouldn't eat because eating feeds diseases. And he's right in terms of sugar is something that can actually be a bad thing to eat when you're trying to get rid of stuff. That's the technical word for it. Stuff.
But of course now we're in the Western world, we're eating a stupid amount of carbohydrate. I mean, potatoes and breads and pastas are just in amazing abundance everywhere you look, and they take up aisles and aisles in your supermarket. And you're hard pushed to find something that hasn't got some kind of carbohydrate in it when you look at the labels. And it's now, unfortunately, the average American person is eating somewhere in the region of 500 grams of carbohydrates a day.
Yeah, or if they're drinking huge bottles of soda as well, it could be a lot more.
Yeah,
such a lot.
And of course you've got, because I mean, what's breakfast? It's porridge or oatmeal. It's waffles. It's toast. It's cereal. They're all grains, and then you'll have a biscuit or something, or a packet of crisps or a snack, and then you'll have your sandwich at lunchtime, and then you'll have maybe another snack in the afternoon, and then you'll have your dinner, which is invariably going to have either bread, pasta, potatoes. Then you might have another snack in the evening.
Popcorn while you're watching a film.
That was my downfall. Yeah. But by the time you got to the end of it, you've eaten at least 250, 300 grams of carbohydrates in one day.
Yeah, and if you're counting calories, you might have had 3,000 or more.
And this is what is causing metabolic syndrome, and one of those things is insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is the root disease of type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's, which is now being classed as type 3 diabetes. So
We're
many
going to talk
bad
about
things.
that soon.
Yeah. PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, and also heart disease and stroke, and the list goes on and on and on. And we just didn't want to be a part of that anymore.
No, especially the diabetes.
Yeah,
that's a different story. We have lots of videos, by the way, all about different fasting and the keto and the diabetes and how we lost the weight that we've lost. Go to our channel. What we'll do is
give us a subscribe.
Yeah, give us a subscribe and click on the bell.
Ding.
And yes, click on the like button and do so. I can't see anything in the comments.
No one's commenting.
In the chat. It may be that it's just not coming through onto our screen, but please just give us a wave. Put some emojis up there or something so we can see it's working. Got a new computer set up, so before I was using two screens, but I've just ordered a lead so I can plug it on.
I prefer
this is better, yeah, so we're not always looking over there.
No, it's much better.
Yeah, so, and if you have questions, of course, put something in there. Harry Potter fan club? Oh, that's just an email.
We're huge Harry Potter fans.
Yes, I'm a Ravenclaw.
And I'm a Gryffindor, of course.
So, upcoming videos, we'll get on with it. We've already gone over the half an hour and we said we're going to keep it short. Never mind, I'll edit it down short.
Never happens.
So one that's coming very soon is keto versus low carb, and what they are and what the difference is and what's best for what kind of thing that you want. Yeah. So we'll just talk through that. That'll be good. I'm going to do some quotations videos. I think I mentioned that on the last live stream, and because I think we all need some positive stuff from famous people who've said amazing things about how you can continue, how we've continued through coronavirus and through the lockdown and through everybody has times in their life when they need some positive messages. So I thought it'd be nice to actually I might even do a whole channel that is dedicated to all of that stuff because I need it apart from anything else. So, and I'd like to share them with you. And I'd like to study that kind of thing as well. It's about time I read all my Shakespeare and came up with my favourite quotes. So, anyway, it won't all be Shakespeare. Some of it will be and I'm people who are still with us.
I'm doing a video on how to use your breath in order to stay calm. We're very much aware that weight loss doesn't happen if you've got too much cortisol or you're stressed. It really does stall weight loss, and it doesn't matter whether you're on keto or fasting, whatever you're trying to do. If you're trying to lose weight, you do need to stay calm. So we're going to continue with the Keto Calm series, and I'm going to start with one this week. I'm going to record it either tomorrow or Friday, in where I'm going to actually go through a pranayama, which is breath work, yogic breath work with you. And watch out, because there's going to be more of those. There's going to be more meditations, and there's going to be more yoga classes as well. I'm going to start doing those because I think it's important. It's the holistic thing. It's the whole thing. We're not just here to talk about food. We need to talk about we're here to talk about mental well-being as well, and also about exercise, and we're also here to talk about keeping yourself calm and in a nice state so that you can take on anything.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
world.
I'm going to do an exercise video. Well, I think we're both going to do exercise videos, but they're both going to be very, very different. Hello, we have a message. Fantastic.
Lovely to see
Kate's watching.
Lovely.
And she gives us 2 kisses.
Ah.
Lovely, and a big smile. So yes, my exercise video is going to be more of exercising for lazy people who are very old.
Oh, I'm not very old.
No.
Well, I might be.
I'm older than I
Next
look.
week I will be.
Apparently I look 20 years younger since I've lost weight.
Oh, okay.
According to our friend who came round today. So it's socially distanced from us as well. I hasten to add.
Yes.
What other videos have we got that we've got planned?
Well, the recent ones that we've done, which I suppose we should mention as well, because some people may not have seen them, was I did one about cholesterol a couple of weeks ago, and I also did, what was the last one? Fasting. How to do successfully get through fasting, which is why we wanted to talk about this again today.
And there was an omega-3, 6 and 9 one.
And a nuts one as well.
One,
so those are the ones we've
They're
done
all
recently.
Really good.
But we have done a lot of other videos as well, so please check them out because we're up to about 80 videos now, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, more than that.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello,
Lovely to see
Barbara. In exercise, what's that? Exercise for the aged. Sounds fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be. Because some of it, what I learnt actually from a friend was that just even maintaining the stretchiness that you've got already is something that you should be doing as you get older.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got that stretchiness, then you can just develop it slowly. And then if you maintain that, then all of those aches and pains that people think they get because they're getting old, and all of those noises that you make whenever you stand up when you get over the age of 40, you don't have to do that anymore because actually you can keep yourself relatively young. And especially if you do long-term fasting with autophagy, it's got good anti-aging properties.
You actually heal yourself, your skin tightens.
And you don't have to do really, really heavy exercises. No. The exercises that I'm going to show you are just the stretches that I do every day. And, if it was really mad exercise, then I wouldn't be able to do it every day. I wouldn't be able to force myself to do it every
When
morning.
I first met him, he couldn't touch his toes, and now he can.
Yeah. Oh, and it wasn't just being large. I haven't been able to do it since I was about 20.
And now he can.
But now I can. Shall I show you?
Oh,
just want to prove it. Oh, that's my guitar. No, I don't want to break my guitar.
Quick now.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
I have to go over down straight down to the toes.
There you go. You couldn't do that before.
Oh yeah, I'm so much stretchy now. I can touch my knee with my chin now when I bend over. So yes.
And these are all based basically on yoga. So everybody thinks that yoga is like you have to be 20 years old and dressed in spandex. But
no,
that's actually
and it's not a hippie thing.
It's not the case. It's not the case. You can even do it in a chair, and we're going to do it in a chair.
Yes, and to any people who are watching whose religion says that yoga is like another religion and you're worshipping other gods. No,
it's not.
No, I mean for some people. If you go to India and learn about it, you might learn about some more of the religious practices.
And I did, but whether you follow that or not, it was entirely up to me. Yeah. I was not, you must do this. It was just.
For me, it's about wellness. It's about keeping me bendy. I just call them my stretchies.
Yeah. My
morning stretchies, but they're all based on yoga moves. And on things that Dr. Sten Ekberg, which is one of our favourites, some of the exercises that he said are good and don't actually injure you if you're just starting out or you're not used to exercising.
And how to do them properly as well, because
that's very important.
Very, very difficult.
People trying sit-ups, those full sit-ups that you do, they're wrong, and I'll tell you about that on the exercises.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on. So we said we'd update you with any developments, and so the holiday season is upon us, as they call it in America. There's Thanksgiving is coming up, and Christmas after that, and then there's Diwali and Hanukkah and all of those ones. So whatever celebration that you have.
Been and gone.
Has it? We've already had that. Sorry, I've missed that.
I think yes.
I
think it was late this year, but I think it's definitely gone.
We used to live in Leicester in the UK, and it's got a very large Asian population. So we have on our merchandise page of which there will be a link to in the comments below. Not in the comments, in the description, the video description. Are they there already? I think they probably are. But if not, they'll be there tomorrow when the video goes up. And
sorry, what was that? The link to?
The link to our merchandise page.
Oh, right. Okay. Did you not get the photos?
Yes, I've got the photographs up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we need to put the link to the merchandise page in the bin.
Yes, it'll be in the description.
You're awake now.
No,
You're
it's
awake
okay.
now.
I was just
You
checking.
got distracted.
I was just finding out when Diwali is, and it's actually this Saturday.
Oh, it is.
So
I haven't missed
coming.
it.
It's coming.
Thank goodness for that.
Sometimes it is very early.
Festival of Lights.
Yeah.
That is delightful.
It's one of my favourites.
So we're going to show you one or two examples. Actually, here we go. I've got some examples on here. Again, and Patreon, there we go. That's the address that you need to visit, and you can support us by giving us a certain amount per month for as little as €5, £5, $5, I don't know, €5. It'll change over to your currency wherever you're at, I think. Yeah. And and you get, and it tells you on the Patreon site exactly what you get for the different amounts that you can give, and there are 4 tiers, aren't they? Yeah. Not these kind of tiers. They're happy
4
tiers.
4 tiers like cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't get cake.
No, sadly not. No.
No. You get everybody gets a newsletter, which comes out once a month.
Monthly emails, and then there's things like discounts on the merchandise, and there's also everything up to and including. Your yoga classes and meditation classes if you want them, and also one-to-one chats with us if you want to go. Yeah. We've also got the New Year plan, which is coming up as of the 1st of January. Yeah. So anybody who wants to join in as a patron to do that is welcome from tier 3, I think, onwards. You can join in with that for free, and and
you get loads on that one, don't you?
Yeah,
New Year plan.
And also you get, if you want to, if you go into the highest tier, then we will write you a song.
Yeah, we will. So, has anybody got any lines for a song? Come on, in the chat. Give us a line for the song.
Yeah.
And we'll just do that. We'll sing you out.
Yeah.
We said we'd
44 minutes.
That's 44 minutes already. Honestly, we've gone way over it.
We keep saying keep it to half an hour. No,
we just get chatting. We like chatting.
It's never going to happen. So we'll just. We got something shaking.
No, it'll be too loud. Keto bonito, woo woo. Keto bonito, woo. Keto bonito, yeah. Keto bonito. I'm slim because I swim. Keto bonito. Whoa, put that on my t-shirt. Keto bonito. I'm telling a fib because I don't really swim. Keto bonito. But I'm still very slim. Because of keto bonito. For Christmas. For Christmas. Come on, everybody, join in. For Christmas. For Christmas. For Christmas. Because because I'm fasting.
I am smiling
Because I'm fasting.
I am smiling
For Christmas. For Christmas. Keto bonito. Keto bonito. Fasting is not just for Christmas. Just like puppies and even bigger dogs. Oh, keto bonito. La 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 la. Keto bonito. La 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 la. Keto bonito. La 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 la. Keto bonito. Don't you go leaping into a fast. You might lose weight, but a bit too fast. Woo!
Keto bonito.
Try the keto lifestyle, it's so healthy.
Yeah, keto bonito.
Look at me, I'm sexy and very wealthy.
Keto. We're not.
That's a fib, a tiny white lie.
Keto bonito.
But I'm definitely very, 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 very slim.
Keto bonito.
Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes.
Oh, scary.
Look at my eyes. Higher. Look at my eyes. Oh, oh, keto bonito. Oh, keto bonito. Oh, oh, keto bonito. Bring it to the end. Keto bonito. Yeah.
Here we go.
Thank you
Bit
so
of improv.
much. Yeah,
Bit of improv for a Wednesday night.
So, that's all for now. I think we've told you everything we need to tell you. Thank you so much for joining us. You're all very lovely, and we love you very, very much. Peace and love.
See you
What's
next
it,
week.
love? What's it, that one there? How do you do it? Oh, yes, it's like that.
Like a heart.
Ooh, like that.
I love you.
Yes. So, yeah, take care. We'll see you next week and on all of the videos.